A silent revolution is reshaping the world of weight loss science, one syringe at a time. The name on everyone's lips is Ozempic, but the real story goes far beyond a single brand. For decades, losing weight was seen as a matter of willpower. Eat less, move more, repeat. But science is revealing that the equation is far more complex. Deep inside the body lies a hormonal orchestra that dictates hunger, fullness, and energy balance. And for the first time in history, scientists have found a way to conduct it. These new tools, known as GLP-1 receptor agonists, mimic a natural gut hormone called glucagon-like peptide 1. When you eat, GLP-1 signals the brain that you're full, slows how quickly your stomach empties, and helps the pancreas manage blood sugar. It's a small molecule with enormous influence, one that tells your body when to stop eating, how much to crave, and even how your brain thinks about food. Drugs like Ozempic, Wegovy, and Mounjaro take that natural signal and amplify it. The result? People eat less, feel full longer, and their metabolism stabilizes, sometimes dramatically. In clinical trials, the numbers are almost unbelievable. Patients taking GLP-1 medications routinely lose between 10% and 20% of their body weight. Some newer drugs are showing results that touch 25% or even 30%, rivaling outcomes once seen only after bariatric surgery. For comparison, traditional diet and exercise interventions often hover around a 5% to 8% reduction at best. What makes this different isn't just the scale of the results, it's how they happen. These medications don't just suppress appetite, they change the conversation between your gut and your brain. Food stops being an obsession. Hunger quiets down. For many, it feels like getting back control over their own biology. The magic, however, is grounded in hard science. GLP-1 drugs slow down gastric emptying, meaning food stays in the stomach longer, triggering that "I'm full" feeling. They also regulate insulin release while lowering glucagon, balancing blood sugar more effectively. In the brain, they act on the hypothalamus, the center that manages hunger, and the reward pathways that make food so tempting. This dual action reshapes both physical appetite and emotional craving. That's why many patients report not just eating less, but simply thinking about food less. The power of these drugs lies in how seamlessly they alter behavior without requiring constant mental struggle. Ozempic, the most recognized of the group, started its life as a diabetes drug. Its active ingredient, semaglutide, was first approved to manage blood sugar levels. But as patients started shedding weight dramatically, researchers realized the implications. Soon after came Wegovy, a higher-dose version officially approved for obesity. Then entered tirzepatide, a dual hormone drug that hits both GLP-1 and another pathway called GIP, showing even greater effects in trials. Together, they've ignited what's now being called the GLP-1 revolution. The weight loss numbers tell one side of the story, but the health implications tell another. Reducing body weight by even 10% can dramatically lower risks for type 2 diabetes, heart disease, sleep apnea, and fatty liver disease. Beyond vanity or image, this is about metabolic restoration, helping the body function the way it's supposed to. People who once felt trapped in cycles of dieting are now experiencing stability, steady energy, normalized blood sugar, fewer crashes, fewer cravings. For millions, that's life-changing. But as always, every revolution has its price. GLP-1 drugs are not without challenges. The most common side effects include nausea, constipation, and digestive discomfort, especially in the early weeks. Some users stop taking them because of intolerance or cost, and cost is a serious barrier. Without insurance, these drugs can reach hundreds of dollars per month. And perhaps the biggest issue is maintenance. When users stop taking the medication, weight tends to creep back. That's because the body still remembers its former set point, a defense mechanism developed over millennia of evolution. In simple terms, once you stop nudging those hormonal signals, biology often reasserts itself. This has raised an uncomfortable but vital question. Are GLP-1 drugs lifelong companions? For some, the answer may be yes. Much like blood pressure or cholesterol medications, they may become part of long-term management for chronic conditions like obesity and diabetes. For others, they could serve as jump-starts, tools to reset metabolism and create healthier patterns that last even after tapering off. Either way, the conversation around obesity is changing fundamentally. It's no longer about blaming people for their habits. It's about understanding the underlying biology and finally treating it with the seriousness it deserves. Yet the future of this field goes even further. Scientists are now experimenting with multi-agonist drugs that combine GLP-1 with other hormones such as GIP, glucagon, or PYY. These triple-action therapies could amplify fat burning and appetite control even more, with some early studies showing weight reductions beyond 30%. Pharmaceutical companies are racing to refine versions that require fewer injections, weekly, monthly, or even oral tablets, to make them more accessible and sustainable. It's not hyperbole to say we're witnessing the birth of an entirely new era in metabolic medicine. But along with progress comes controversy. Some critics worry that society's fascination with GLP-1 drugs risks oversimplifying body image and feeding unhealthy expectations. Social media has turned these medications into viral trends. Ozempic face, skinny shots, miracle pens, detaching them from the serious medical conditions they were designed to treat. Doctors stress that these are prescription drugs meant for those struggling with obesity or diabetes, not quick fixes for beach season diets. There's also concern about what happens to long-term health if these medications are misused or combined with other substances unsafely. Still, the excitement is undeniable. For many experts, these drugs represent the biggest breakthrough since insulin itself, a shift from fighting symptoms to re-engineering metabolism. By treating hunger at its hormonal root, they give scientists a powerful new tool to study the connection between the gut, the brain, and human behavior. Early research even suggests potential links between GLP-1 signaling and addiction control, hinting at applications far beyond weight loss alone. The ripple effects could reshape how we think about mental health, appetite, and reward altogether. So, what does this mean for the future? In the next few years, we're likely to see a complete reframing of obesity as a treatable chronic metabolic condition, not a moral failing. The stigma may finally start to fade as science continues to show that weight control is about biology, not just discipline. And as these drugs become more refined, more affordable, and more widely understood, they could transform not just waistlines, but global health outcomes. At the same time, there's a cultural crossroads ahead. Will society use this breakthrough responsibly, as a bridge toward better health, or as yet another quick fix in a world obsessed with appearance? The answer may determine how we define wellness in the 21st century. Because in truth, Ozempic isn't just a weight loss story. It's a human story, about control, chemistry, and the quest to outsmart our own evolution. It's about understanding that the forces driving hunger are older and stronger than willpower alone, and that modern science has finally found a way to negotiate with them. If this breakdown helped you understand the science behind the headlines, hit like, drop a comment, and subscribe for more stories that decode the future of health and human biology. Because this isn't the end of the weight loss journey. It's the beginning of a new chapter where science, not shame, writes the story.